Hello and welcome to the Lord of the Rings, the living card game. I'm the White Tower Watchman. It's a really quick video talking about the corrections that need to be discussed in the starter decks. So for the new players out there that got the starter decks, got access to a larger card pool, a lot of great stuff in there, but there were some, I don't know if you want to call them misprints or however you want to say, on the first print runs of those decks. There's a few things to take note of that either have been printed wrong on those cards but were right on the original cards or vice versa. So the new Dane has a noble trait. That is correct. He is supposed to have a noble trait. They've updated the old most popular dwarf character in the game to have a noble trait, which he should. This old one, as you can see, does not, but the new Dane does, and that is correct, and the Dane in your deck is correct. Okay. Faramir, from what I've heard, he does not have the noble trait in the Gondor starter deck. That is incorrect. He is supposed to have the noble trait, so if yours doesn't, he is supposed to. Derons Ruins is an action. You draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card from your hand. It's in every lore deck you'll ever play. If you have a lore hero, you are playing this card. It is not a response. A response has to have something to respond to. It is an action. Your card in the starter deck says response. It is incorrect. The exact same thing goes for Elrond Council. It is an action. It is not a response. This one right here is probably the trickiest one, the easiest one to forget. Envoy of Peligre. She is supposed to have 1 hit point, not 2 hit points. If your Envoy has 2 hit points, that is incorrect. It is a misprint. She is supposed to have 1 hit point. And finally, the Helm of Secrecy is not supposed to have the phrase that was in some of the earlier printings of the card, and now in some of the starter deck printings, where when you swap the heroes, you move all eligible attachments and damage to the hero from to the new hero coming into play. So you do not add the damage, just the attachments. That is how it is supposed to read. No damage, just the attachments. Okay, that was a little quick briefing on the starter decks. Hope everyone's having a good time with the revised core set, the Dark and Mirkwood, and the starter decks. It is a great place to get to visit, perhaps for the first time, this amazing game. I would recommend the products in that order: the revised core set, the Dark and Mirkwood, and then the starter decks. The starter decks, because of these errors, outside of Dane, which is actually correction, I'd recommend trying to find the old stuff if you can, the original releases, and forego the starter decks. That's just my opinion, but they're still great to grab if you got them. So yeah, that's a quick video. We'll see you next time.